Hello and welcome to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. I'm Swebb.
And I'm Dad.
And we are the dad and daughter duo talking about all of our favorite sports moments from the week. Dad,
Yes, ma'am.
what's going on?
A lot of going on, Swebb.
A
It's
lot.
been a busy week and a half.
It has been just chock full of sports moments. Where do you want to start? Should we start with the good or should we start with the bad?
Why don't we get the bad out of the way first?
Let's start with the good.
Okay.
You know, it's the holiday season. We'll start with one piece of good news.
Let's go.
And then we'll move to a little bit of the bad news. And then we can end on a high note with good news. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Good idea.
All right. Well, Tuesday night, the Knicks won the NBA Cup. The Knicks have won a piece of hardware for the first time in 53 years.
Yep. First time I got up in the morning and in 53 years, and the Knicks had actually won something of significance.
Now,
They were the last man standing in a tournament.
a tournament that's only 3 years old in the NBA's history. All right.
Right.
I have these weird feelings because I'm excited that they won, but I'm like, is this real? Like, what are we even talking about here? But you know what? For now, I'm going to take it since this is the first time I've ever seen the Knicks get anywhere close to holding up a trophy in my whole entire life. So Tuesday night, they played in Vegas against the San Antonio Spurs. It was a very good game. San Antonio is a very good team. Dad, tell us about it.
San Antonio is an excellent team. Excellent team with a lot of young players and with a few real superstars, 7'5" superstar, and some other all-star players and a lot of young players. They've drafted very well the last few years, so they're very talented, and they've had a lot of high draft picks, and they're a very talented team. And they gave the Knicks a run for their money in the first half.
San Antonio is a very good team. I would say for the first three quarters, the game was really going back and forth quite a bit. Victor Wembanyama, obviously a very tough matchup. He's, 7'6"?
Something like that.
So he's hard to defend. I thought that both Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns played as well as they could against him. But San Antonio's got a lot of young guards with size that can hit clutch shots. Stephon Castle was I was watching him like, man, this guy, I think it's his second year in the league, and he's going to be a superstar. San Antonio is going to be, it has a bright future ahead of them. And
We
then
saw him play at the Garden against Carolina 2 years ago.
right. And
when
they
he
have
was on UConn.
some depth on the bench. Wemby comes off the bench, but they also had Dylan Harper, one of their guards, coming off the bench, hitting some clutch threes. He went 5 for 7 from the three-point line on Tuesday night.
And he's a rookie.
So let's talk about the Knicks because, yes, they won. They won 124-113. I was extremely excited to see the way that they were able to answer each punch that San Antonio gave with a punch back. And, Jalen Brunson ends up being named the NBA Cup MVP after averaging 33 points and about 6 assists in the 6 games that he played in the Cup. But the real story here is that this was a big team effort and that the bench played incredibly. So Mitchell Robinson, just to go through some stats, 15 rebounds, 10 offensive rebounds in 18 minutes of play. In that second half, it seemed like every single time that the Knicks shot the ball, they had about 3 to 4 shots on every possession because Mitchell Robinson and a bunch of other guys were grabbing the offensive rebounds. Jordan Clarkson also played really well. He can be pretty sporadic at times, takes a few too many shots for my liking, but had 15 points, hit a few clutch threes in 27 minutes of play. And Tyler Kolek.
Yep. He came up big. See, he wasn't ready to do this last year. But in his second year in the league, he scored 14 points, had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, Really good defense. He was excellent.
One turnover in 20 minutes of play.
Yeah,
So
one turnover.
when we talk about Kolek, I mean, he ended up getting a lot more playing time, mainly because the Knicks needed to have another ball handler on the court. Deuce McBride has been out for about a week and a half because of an injured ankle. He's been playing well. You hear injury news about Deuce McBride, who's really having an emergent season, and you're like, oh, God, like, this is exactly what we don't need. And then Tyler Kolek gets the call. He gets the call to come in to play some substantial minutes. In that second half, he was playing the most important minutes. And there were periods in that fourth quarter where Jalen Brunson was having trouble bringing the ball up the court. So they brought Tyler Kolek back in the late stages of the fourth quarter to provide some support ball handling. And he plays a game that is, he can shoot, but he is a pass first guy, and he's constantly moving. He's like, have you ever seen the movie Happy Feet?
No.
It's a movie about penguins, and one of the penguins has happy feet and just keeps tap dancing. And that is Tyler Kolek. He doesn't like to stand in place. He doesn't want to watch what's going on. He doesn't even want to stand around dribbling. He wants to pass and move, pass and cut, find the open man, drive to the hoop, either take the shot. Most likely he's going to shot fake and pass it to an open man. And
Well, just so you know, that's the way he's supposed to play basketball. Okay? And that's why 2 years ago when he was at, what school did he go to? Marquette. Right?
Marquette.
He led the entire country in assists. You're supposed to pass and move. You're not supposed to stand still. We're so used to watching these NBA players, if they don't have the ball in their hand, they just stand there. You notice Steph Curry never stands still. He's always moving. That's how you get open.
That's what really your unathletic players, you can be really effective if you're not blessed with all of the genes of athleticism that some of these other guys are blessed with. You can really, not that he is a scrub, but you can really be blessed with, you can have an effective career and a very successful career if you focus on the fundamentals.
Right. If you play good fundamental basketball, you don't have to be Superman and be some incredible athlete, but you have to play fundamental basketball. You can be a so-so athlete, and you could be very effective. You could become the Joker on Denver. Is he a superstar athlete? No, but he's probably the best player in all of basketball.
Yes. You're right. That's a good point. So the Knicks now, they're on a 5-game win streak. They get to hold the NBA Cup title for the next year. MSG has come out and said, we're not raising a banner in the Garden for this. What are your feelings on that, Dad?
Yeah, I can understand not putting up a banner for this because they're looking for bigger goals. They want to win an NBA championship in the playoffs in the spring.
As soon as the game was over, I was happy for about 30 minutes, and then I said, I don't want that banner anywhere near the Garden. We don't need, participation banners. I want that banner going to Westchester.
When the Lakers won this tournament a few years ago, they put up a banner, and so did Milwaukee last year when they won it.
And you know how embarrassing that is, the Lakers putting up a banner in the first year of the tournament. Right. Milwaukee also has a pretty storied history putting up a banner. We don't need to do that. I sent a text to one of my friends. I said, that's my owner. That's my owner, James Dolan. No banner. So the Knicks, 5-game win streak. They're second in the East, 2.5 games behind Detroit. They have a pretty favorable schedule for them if you look at the rest of the month. Thursday, they play at Indiana. Friday versus the Sixers at home. So they'll have a back-to-back there. Sunday, they host the Heat, which is always a tough matchup. But then next week, going into the Christmas week, they've got Tuesday at Minnesota. And on Christmas, they play Cleveland at the Garden. The way that they're firing.
They're playing good. And guys like Kolek and Clarkson, they're playing great. And I didn't even remember McBride wasn't playing last night until the game was over and he came running out on the court and the street closed.
Right. And he would likely have been the guy who got the call instead of Kolek to be in the game. So now if you look at the Knicks lineup, in terms of their starters, you've got, you know that you've got proven guys in Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns. OG Anunoby had a huge game on Tuesday night. Josh Hart always going to grab about 10 rebounds or more a game and play great defense. And Mikal Bridges, he's been a little inconsistent on offense. He didn't really play a lot in that fourth quarter, but also plays some great defense. You think about it from a bench perspective, you've got Mitchell Robinson scooping up every board that he comes into contact with. You've got Tyler Kolek now. You've got Deuce McBride, who's having his best season of his career. And you've got Jordan Clarkson, who adds a lot of veteran presence and experience. So this Knicks lineup right now, I feel good about it. And the way that they're playing. And the contribution they're getting from various guys throughout the lineup.
And remember, the Spurs, San Antonio, beat Oklahoma City to get to this championship game. And that was only Oklahoma City's second loss of the year. If the Knicks can stay healthy when it comes playoff time, we'll see what happens.
And obviously, this is a matchup. You're seeing a team who has a lot of size in the front court. The fact that the Knicks were able to beat this team, they don't have a ton of depth in the forward and center positions, but great showing. There's nothing but the feeling of pride for the team. Just keep the banner in Westchester.
I don't think they're going to be hanging that banner anywhere.
So, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. I see you've got these maize-colored Solo cups that you're drinking your water from, or your sparkling ice.
It's water with a little lemon juice, and this is an
look at you.
I've been drinking a lot of water, Swebb.
Okay, good. I love to hear this. Is that orange or is that maize, that color that you got there?
This is orange.
Because it looks a little bit like the color of the University of Michigan.
No, it's light orange. It's like, this is like the Tennessee orange.
Okay.
University of Tennessee Vols.
Here's the thing. The color of the cup doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What the situation in Ann Arbor, Michigan is really what we need to discuss.
What situation?
This is like a Bravo reality TV show. For those who have been living under a rock for the past 2 weeks. Wednesday, what was it, 2 Wednesdays ago? Get a notification, an ESPN alert. Michigan's head coach, Sherrone Moore, what is he in his second season, has been fired. What? Then more news starts to come out. He has been fired for an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Then he is now in jail. So how do we go from being placed into this role as the head coach of the University of Michigan football team to getting fired, making $5 million a year, to getting fired 2 years later, to being known as a terrible, terrible man for the way that you've cheated on your wife and ruined your family, but also in jail, facing charges for, what was it, breaking and entering, assault.
When I heard that he was arrested, I said, oh, maybe it's an underage girl. Then it comes out. Yeah, go ahead, finish.
So it comes out. So, and this is the loose timeline. This is the Cliff Notes version. He gets fired apparently somewhere after getting fired. No, they have a meeting at the University of Michigan without him. He gets wind of him not being in a meeting. They have a meeting with all the football staffers. He's not in the meeting. He finds out he's not in the meeting. He goes home. It comes out that he's fired and that he's cheated on his wife and ruined his family with a staffer on his, that was, I think, his executive assistant. He then hops in a car, goes to the former girlfriend's home, takes a knife and threatens to injure himself and her. Then he goes on the run.
He took it was a butter knife, by the way.
So he's clearly not the brightest for many reasons. Not only did it blow up his whole family, but then he tried to kill himself, or threatened to kill himself, with a butter knife. And then he goes on the run. His wife has access to his location, so I'm sure she's known about this for a while. So that's another piece. His wife has access to his location, was able to tell the cops that he's like in the parking lot of some church, and he goes to jail, all in one Wednesday afternoon. Would you like to add anything? What are some of your feelings when you started to see all this news pop out? What were you thinking?
Hey, well, after I had a chance to think about it for a while, I said, this is what happens when you go outside of the family. See, these big programs, these big college basketball and college football programs, when he was hired as an assistant. He coached for a few years there, but he went to some other school. He didn't go to Michigan, okay? So, when you don't own something, you don't treat it. You treat it like you're renting and not like you're owning. When Duke, Coach K retired, who'd they go to? Shire. Somebody that was in the family. No problems. When Dean Smith retired, they went to Guthridge, was in the family, and then eventually passed it on to Roy Williams. In the family. He went to school there. He coached there. And what did he do? When he knew he was going to retire in a few years, he told Hubert Davis to come over, be an assistant coach, because Hubert Davis played there. And then when he retired, they handed it to Hubert Davis. And he treats the program with respect. And you know what he did for all his assistants? Every assistant that Carolina has played at I saw every single one of those guys play there over the years that I've been rooting for them. When Michigan went outside of the family, they have enough guys that played at Michigan, coached, and I knew something was wrong. When Sherrone Moore got the job, first thing he says, I'm going to run this my way. This was right after they won a national championship. The road's been paved, dude. And I saw a few guys that were assistant coaches that were on the staff that actually played at Michigan, that were in the family. They quit. Because, see, this behavior was going on for a long time. This guy is a knucklehead, and it wasn't just with that one boy. At the halftime of the Ohio State game, which they were playing to see if they could win to get into the playoffs, he's on the phone playing around with some other girls, This guy
is what
is
happens
nuts.
when you go out of the family, literally. If you're a married man, stick with your wife, okay? This is what happens when you go out of the family, literally, okay? Now, this guy clearly has problems, okay? The guy has problems. He's talking to OnlyFans models. He's freaking gallivanting.
In the middle of a game.
He's gallivanting with his EA at other events where there are cameras present. He clearly felt like he was untouchable. And I don't think that this was a surprise to anyone that works in the athletic department of the
They all
University of
knew. Even the
Michigan.
kids on the team knew.
Michigan has some problems, right? Because now they've had some serious, between coaches filming, between suspensions happening within the program. This obviously wasn't a secret. This is not a good look for your boys. All right, on a very wide scale. Now, had they beat Ohio State a few weeks ago, would we know all of this? Maybe not, okay? This feels like a very opportune time for the news to come out when you're not in the college football playoffs, when you lost to Ohio State, and when you're playing in the Citrus Bowl, okay? So had they had some success, this probably wouldn't have come out this month. It would have just been held on a little bit longer until Eventually, they had a season like this year, which wasn't even that bad of a season, but they're clearly sick of the guy because the guy's got issues. So, where does Michigan go from here?
I'll let you know when I come back from Orlando. I'm going down to the Citrus Bowl. I already got my tickets and everything. So I'm going to be down there, and I'll get this straightened out when I'm down there. And it's another mess I got to go clean up.
Well,
But in the meantime, they're losing recruits. They still don't have a new coach. It's got a mess. I might, $5 million. Give me $1 million and I'll take the job.
don't sell yourself short and don't sell the family short. But it's a bit of a domino effect, right? This whole thing comes, then recruits start going other places, and then you got a mess. You might have some guys who transfer out. The team didn't make the college football playoffs. Other teams in the Big Ten have gotten better. So this is going to be a challenge. But let's talk about some happy news for me, because I am shifting my focus now to Saturday. Saturday at noon. The Miami Hurricanes, they made the college football playoffs. They'll play Texas A&M in College Station. Not an easy place to play against a very tough team. The 10 seed Miami versus the 7 seed Texas A&M. I'm nervous, but I'm riding the wave, and I'm in a better situation than you are.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty bad situation.
I can tell the camera's all messed up now. It's all crooked.
But I'll tell you one thing. If there's one person could get to the bottom of some of this and start cleaning this up and start recruiting and getting people back in, you're looking at them.
Well, you might want to let the University of Michigan know, because they can use all the help they can get.
I'll be down there. I might volunteer my services.
Could you pass the vetting process? Because clearly they need to do a better job there.
I'll do the job for free, Swebb. I'll get the. Hey, I don't know enough about the X's and O's of coaching football.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
I could go sit down with these parents and get them back in the program.
Well, you're going to need a coach for that. But Miami, I'm excited for Saturday. I'm going out. I'm going to watch it with a bunch of friends. I don't know what's going to happen. I have my jacket ready. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hopeful. I'm taking it day by day. If Miami can pull things off on Saturday, which they're totally capable of doing, they've got a great team, bunch of guys on this team named All-Americans. They've been playing really well since the loss against SMU. Then, New Year's Eve, they'll play Ohio State, but we're taking it one day at a time. Prepare to be sick of me if they win on Saturday.
Hey, I'll be rooting for them.
Yeah, you got nothing else to do.
What time is that game?
The game is at 12 noon.
Good. Because Carolina and Ohio State play basketball at 3. CBS.
A tad early for me to be scarfing down mozzarella sticks, and I might have to start with a salad in the first quarter, but we'll see.
How do you eat when you're watching these kind of games?
Easily. What do you mean? You act like you don't eat.
Not when I'm watching a big game. I eat, but not when I'm watching a big game.
Well, the key is pacing. I'm not going to get to this bar
I don't know nothing about pacing.
Right. I'm not going to get there any earlier than 11:50 a.m. So that's the start. Then I'm going to order. They have a really good chicken salad that I'm going to have, and I'm going to have that in the first quarter. And then at halftime, I'll order probably fries, maybe chicken tenders, or mozzarella sticks, and that's how we do it. If they win, I'll be having mozzarella sticks as a celebration meal. If they lose, I'll be having mozzarella sticks to soothe my soul.
I'm glad you have a plan.
It's all about planning. All right. Speaking of planning, do the Yankees have a plan, Dad?
Yes, they do.
What's the plan? Because I'm seeing a lot of signings around Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. Not too many happening in the Bronx.
I told you when the season ended that don't expect them to be picking up a whole lot of players. because they had a lot of young players on their team last year, and they have some young players that are going to be coming up and filling some of these spots. They're not looking to go out and give. And if you notice, very few teams are giving long-term contracts. There's going to be a lockout next spring. You might not even have baseball next year. It's going to be starting late because these teams, there's going to be a salary cap, and there's going to be a lot of fighting over this stuff. And because you can't keep giving guys 8-year contracts, 10-year contracts, and then they fizzle out after 2 or 3. Aaron Hicks, we just finished paying him this past year.
Good riddance.
LeMahieu, you're still going to pay him $15 million this year. You can't give these 30-year-old guys 8-year contracts because their body breaks down.
So the Yankees still have to figure out what they're doing in the outfield. Are they signing Cody Bellinger?
They're trying to sign him, but if he wants a 6-7 year contract, I don't think they're going to give it to him. But they have 2 young players ready to step in and take that spot.
And what's happening with the bullpen? Because I'm seeing the Mets signing all of our scraps.
Okay. Well, just remember, at the trade deadline in July, they redid their whole bullpen and traded for 4 relievers, and all those guys are still under contract. They're still looking to pick up another reliever or 2, and then they have some young arms in the minors that they think somewhere during the season they can bring up.
Listen, with all due respect, we're the Yankees, okay? I'm not just here to rely on young guys.
Okay, just here, let me go over something with you.
Okay.
Garrett Cole, $36 million.
Coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Okay, but his salary for this year and the next 2 years is $36 million. Rondon, $27 million, $27.8 this year and the next 2 years. Fried, only $14.5 this year, but next year it jumps up to $31.5, and that goes until 2032. Their top three pitchers, they're paying 36, 27, and 31. Nobody else is doing that. Okay? Then Schlittler, they brought him up.
Yes.
You see what he did. Okay? Heel, he won 17 games the year before last, was the rookie of the year. And last year he got hurt in spring training.
Didn't even know oblique issue?
Oblique issue. So he only pitched 2 months. Schlittler, they brought him up in August. He only pitched 2 months. You see what he did in the playoffs. They have guys. Now, and then Clark is going to be out until late in the year because he had Tommy John.
So who's the Yankees' first baseman?
Rice.
Full-time.
How many home runs? Full-time. How many home runs did he hit last year? What did he do? This guy's a legitimate middle of the order.
Yankees starting
25
catcher?
years. Wells. Excellent defensive catcher, excellent power, and he has to make more contact.
Who's the starting Yankees starting shortstop?
Volpe. After a month, he'll be back in May. He had rotator cuff surgery.
Who's the Yankees starting left fielder?
Either Dominguez or Jones. If they don't re-sign Bellinger. And if they do re-sign Bellinger, I wouldn't trade both of those guys. I would keep them because Grisham only has a 1-year contract, and he'll probably be gone after next year. And Judge is 34 years old. He doesn't need to be playing right field every single day. He can
who's
DH
the
some
Yankees setup man? The guy just before the closer.
Huh? The guy they got from the Giants.
Listen, you're talking about the Yankees like we're the freaking Baltimore Orioles or something. All right? Like,
They got a $300 million. What do you want to do?
Farm system. We got this guy. We
Right.
got guys who are batting close to 200 during the season.
When they
in
took out
starting roles, okay?
when they took out the Red Sox in the playoffs last year, one of those guys from the farm system, what did he do? That was the most dominant pitching performance I've seen from
I'm not worried about
anybody.
him because he's going to be the 4th or 5th starter next year. I'm not worried about him. And that's fine when you've got other guys with a proven track record. But now we've got guys in this lineup who have been in the league for a few years now, still young, but have been in the league for a few years. If you're batting 220 and lower, I'm not going to have a lot of patience for that. And if you don't sign someone in the off season,
Well,
your options are extremely limited. Okay?
They don't go to
We're not the Baltimore Orioles. We're not the Oakland A's or whatever they call themselves now. We are the New York Yankees. We spend money. When you spend money, you make money. Rich people get richer. Okay? People holding on to their pockets, they don't get richer. Okay? So
But you got to make the right investments.
You have
Rich
to make the
people
right
get richer
investments.
because they make the right investments.
You have to make
and
the right
just
investments,
throwing
but-
money at guys that are over the hill doesn't make you. That's not always a good investment.
Rich people get richer. Okay? Invest in the team and act like you actually want to win, and not just that you're okay selling out, being a team, an organization where people will come to the game regardless because they're Yankee fans, and that's all we're good for. All right? Act like you actually want to win the whole thing. That's what the Dodgers are doing.
The Dodgers have over $100 million in deferred money that they're going to have to start paying out in 2033 or 34. Okay, and by the way, that's one of the reasons why there's going to be a lockout, because they shouldn't even be allowed to do that. If you want to pay a guy $70 million like Ohtani, put it on your books for $70 million this year.
All right.
That's a bunch of garbage.
Let's take it down a notch.
Okay.
Dad,
What?
Christmas is coming up
It is.
next week. What are you most excited about over the next week?
Well, let's see what the Jets do.
Oh, God.
Hopefully they'll lose. Hopefully they'll lose a few more games, and they'll get a higher draft pick.
All right.
Get one of those quarterbacks.
That's one approach. I was going to say I'm excited because I'm going to be in your presence. We'll be able to go back to the gym, do some workouts. The Knicks are riding high right now. We'll see what the Yankees are able to do in these next couple of weeks.
Just remember, spring training doesn't start for another 2 months.
Okay. But, I want the moves to happen. Okay? And I'm excited. What'd you get me for Christmas?
Huh?
What'd you get Mom for Christmas?
What?
Okay, so clearly we have to do some shopping when I get down there. And I'm going to take my second try at the mac and cheese. It's going to be less salty this time around. So, before we close things out, do you want to give everyone a dad tip of the week?
When you're hiring somebody, stay in the family. When you venture outside of the family, it messes everything up. What a mess they have. And it's embarrassing. And it's something everybody knows about. And everybody's making jokes all over Instagram and all over everywhere. It's a mess.
And if you're married, stay in the family. All right? All right. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. Be sure to follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Also, subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. And be sure to share this episode with a friend. We will see you next week.
So long.
Thank you for tuning in to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports, the show where we cover all of our favorite sports moments from the past week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and Rumble, and follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram and X. See you next week.